Made the trip out here to West Broward. Kind of thought I was going to make a little vacation out to Naples or Fort Myers, but the good thing for my GPS took me off at Pines Boulevard. We're here with Coach Dillworth, second year as the head coach here. Bobcats. Let's just start with this. Fear the wing. What does that mean, and how has that helped you build the right culture here at the school?
Fear the wing is a battle cry. We brought this culture from for the West Broward single wing offense. I mean, it's an equalizer. It equalizes the playing fields. I mean, we're a talented team, but also I see it as something we can grasp together and be a brotherhood. I mean, nowadays everybody's into the spread. Everybody wants to, it's about me. I want it to be about we. And when guys play together as a team and play together as a unit, the sky's the limit. So it's a war cry. Fear the wing is a war cry that we're a brotherhood, that we're coming to play ball together, not as an individual, but as one.
Now let's get into this, because we had a nice little history lesson, and you were the teacher, I was the student, learning about the wing. The single wing goes back to Newt Rockne, Notre Dame. Most kids that are watching this don't even know who we're talking about. So we're going back to like the 1940s and 50s, long before any of us were born historically as it relates to football. So we are not talking about modern day football in the spread. We're not talking about quarterbacks that can run and pass. In fact, you don't even have like a traditional quarterback. But if you could, without the ability to draw it out, if you could sort of describe this offense and lay it out for people with words, what is the single wing?
Well, the single wing is an offense. It's a condensed offense where it's a what I want to say blue collar offense. Everybody has to do their job. You can't take a play off. Everybody has to stay on point in order to make it successful. It's we're what's the words I'm looking for? We're stronger as one. So we bring more people to the point of attack. If you keep bringing people to the point of attack, nowadays people don't like to tackle and play football that way. Everybody like to be in space looking pretty. If you can tackle 4 quarters, you can pretty much stop the wing. But a lot of times now, people are not teaching how to tackle that well, so we're just using our strengths. Just keep coming, bringing as many people as we can to the pile, to the party, and sooner or later we try to break your will. That's what it's about, breaking people's will.
To me, it's and we talked about this. The analogy would probably be Georgia Tech in modern day college football. The offense isn't exactly the same, but stylistically what they do versus what most people are doing in college football. And at the end of the day, Georgia Tech, yes. There's a monotony to it, but there's big playability. But even more so, it's, do you want to play against us for 4 quarters and deal with what we are going to bring over the course of a game?
Yes, that's what it is. That's what it is. Do you want to tackle 4 quarters? That's what we believe in. And I mean, it's a simple system, but it's a complex at the same time. What the single wing does, it cuts down on the practice time where you're able to do the basic things like making sure your blocking technique is correct. It's not a whole lot of plays. It's just what you do with the plays. It's how you buy into the plays. That's what the single wing is about. Single wing is and also people don't believe it. Urban Meyer used the single wing when he was at Florida. It looked like a spread offense when Tim Tebow was there, but it had a lot of single wing concepts. So the single wing is around the country in spread offenses as we speak. You just have to really understand what the single wing is to say, oh, I've seen that play before. It might be in a different formation, but this is part of the single wing.
People always talk about offensive coordinators or offensive head coaches, the maestro, the wizards, right? In the laboratory, drawing up plays. And if you probably first think of the single wing, you probably don't think that. But that being said, me and you were watching some film before, and you can get creative inside of this offense to really kind of mentally mess with the opponent. There is creativity inside of this simplicity.
Yes, it's a lot of creativity. It's about formations. I mean, great offensive coordinators, I really feel, don't have a lot of plays. I feel that it's about formation, outflanking your opponent, putting them in a situation and say, okay, what are they about to do? Were they running the same thing? Oh, man, this is tough. It looks like something else, but it's the same thing. So I call that smoke and mirrors. I believe if you throw a lot of smoke and mirrors at people, sooner or later they can break.
Let's just talk about West Broward football, right? Most people probably don't talk too much about West Broward football. We represent the BCAA, so we're going to represent everybody, including West Broward. But that being said, what have you tried to build here? What is your vision for this program, and where do you think you can take this?
I'm trying to build a brotherhood at this program. That's what I want. I want a team, not just a bunch of football players. I want guys to be able to network later on in life. That's the main thing. you might not make it in the pros, you might make it to college, you might not make it into college, but if you have that ability to network with people and be able to bond, you probably can help somebody down the line find a job or something that can help them in the future. So I'm trying to build that brotherhood so it could be a network later on in life. You know, I'm also trying to build character, young men to help develop them for their families to be future teachers, doctors, lawyers, and most of all, great fathers to their kids.
We're going to get to this weight room here in a second. That's the secret sauce right over there. But I don't want to also sound like I'm like a real estate agent for West Broward, but it's a nice school. Nice school, nice campus, yes. And you also take pride in your academics. The school, you and the school.
Yes, I would call it the Stanford of high school football. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. Football is not the priority here. Our priority is academics. But if you can do both, that puts you on another level. We had a kid that had last year. He ended up going to Florida Tech. Florida Tech is a high academic school, but he also had some offers from Army and Navy, and you know, it takes a high GPA and a nice test score to get in those schools. So I feel we're going in the right direction.
All right. To my right, your left, if you're watching this, is the weight room. That is where, you know, how do you make the cookies? How do you make that's where the ingredient, that's where you put all those ingredients together and build the foundation for your team.
Yes, I'm going to tell you, that's where it starts. I think every program that's successful, it starts in the weight room. Example, on the University of Alabama, they stay in the weight room. I mean, they're a pro set team, but Mr. Cochran, the strength and conditioning coach, he does a great job with those guys. In the fourth quarter, they have a drill called the fourth quarter. If you can go 4 quarters with us, you'll win the ball game. A lot of times people can't go 4 quarters with Alabama because they're so strong and they're well-conditioned. So I believe in having a well-conditioned, strong team.
All right. Now, I kind of just stole this, but I think you'll laugh when I say it. On this football team, you want no mushroom caps.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I don't want no mushroom. I call them mushroom people. Mushroom people are people love to do upper body work and no leg work at all. And
so big round up top, and then that skinny stem down the middle.
Skinny stem down the middle. We can't have that on the football team. I like to have a team that's what we call hip heavy. We do a lot of squats, power cleans, deadlifts, weighted hip thrusts. We stay in the hips because our offensive line does a great, and defensive line does a great job of moving people around. So we got to be strong in the hips.
All right, Coach Dillworth, appreciate the time. Thanks for having us out here. I know you got another week off, but I'm sure you'll be fired up to get back on that football field and keep unveiling this wing tee, which really you only went to a little bit, right? You only went to about the midway point of last year as you were looking for something to kind of change things up, and now you've fallen into something that you've fallen in love with.
Yeah, it was a change up last year. We were a spread team. We had some difficulties with the quarterback situation, but we found a way, and we changed a lot of things with the single wing. We ended up scoring a high point number, 67 points, rushing for 650 yards in one game, and we knocked out a few playoff teams with this wing too. So they're probably in the lab right now trying to study it, but I think we've evolved, so I think the kids have the confidence, more confidence in it, so it's a part of their identity, and their identity is fear the wing.